Welcome to Mental Wellness for Parents. I'm Ellen. In today's session, we'll explore the intricate dance between youth mental health and conscious parenting. Before we dive in, let's acknowledge the strength of anyone navigating mental health challenges, whether personally or supporting a loved one through their journey. Let me share a little bit about myself. My path to this moment winds through education in counselling and psychology, coupled with practical certifications in Myers-Briggs, NLP, tuning into teens, and mental health first aid training. It's been enriched profoundly by my motherhood journey with my 4 boys. In fact, a pivot in my story unfolded 2 years ago when my 9-year-old shared his struggles with suicidal thoughts. Now, this led to a breakthrough in mental wellness and pretty much changed and reshaped our lives. Youth mental health can be a silent struggle. Young people do not want to put their hand up to let people know that they're not feeling great for fear of judgment. So it's on us as parents to become detectives and piece together those subtle cues, foster environments where children feel safe to express themselves. Hands up, who's ever felt like this? This mental health continuum is a brilliant visual and reminder that all individuals can fluctuate from sound mental health to poor mental health. And the stress associated with significant life events, for example, when we experience loss, exams, the stress associated with that, or even a move can elicit an enormous amount of stress. And the ability to recover from these events and bounce back to normal and sound mental health depends on our genetics, our environment, our personalities, our social network, and our general coping mechanisms. The most common mental illnesses are anxiety disorders, substance use disorders, and depressive disorders. Interestingly, 1 in 5 Australians will experience signs of a mental illness in any given year, and 1 in 2 will not seek help. Some of the barriers are the fact that they may not realise that they're experiencing a mental health problem. They may just think this is their new normal. They may fear that they're going to be locked away in a mental home or hospital. They may not know how or where to ask for help. There's still so much stigma surrounding it. They don't want people to think that they're crazy. They don't want to use, this is a big one. They do not want their parents to worry, or they don't want to feel like a burden. The cost could deter them. And there's a lot of embarrassment and shame. So we'll have a look at the signs now. We'll have a look and discuss what it looks like, what it sounds like, and what it feels like in our youth. So we as parents may notice a change in their mood. They may become more irritable, more angry, more distant. Their language may change. They may start saying things like, I hate myself. I wish I was dead. What's the point? I hate my life. You may notice changes in their hygiene. So they may stop showering, brushing their teeth, and doing their hair, really caring what they look like. They may sleep a lot more or less. They may lack motivation. Their friends may change, and they may look tired all the time. They may lose or gain weight, their grades may slip and they may cancel last minute. And this is associated with social anxiety. So if they are invited to parties and events and they cancel last minute, then if it's a common occurrence, it could be a sign that they're experiencing social anxiety. They may just seem stressed all the time. The other barrier is the fact that they don't think that anybody can help them. That's a big one. And what it feels like in our youth, it can be so debilitating that they can't at times get out the front door. And to a parent, it might look like they're being really lazy. You know, they're not showering, they're being really slack and really selfish, but they might just be struggling to get through that day. And it's something that we just need to be mindful of. So if you do suspect that they're experiencing a mental health problem, what do you do? What you need to do, first and foremost, is find the time and a private setting where you can talk without interruptions. You need to make sure that you have no commitments for the rest of the day or evening, because you just don't know how the conversation is going to unfold. And you need to consider your language. So you don't want to come across as though you're interrogating them, but you do want to present a case on your observations of their change in behavior, because then they can't deny. If they're not showering, they can't deny that they're not showering. If they're cancelling last minute, you know, they can't deny that. So let me demonstrate how the conversation may unfold. Hey, I've noticed that soccer no longer gives you the spark it used to. I've also noticed that you seem really withdrawn, and I just wanted to check in and see how you're feeling. Yeah, well, my mates have turned against me. I'm failing at school, and I just can't see the point in anything anymore. Gee, that must be really difficult for you. I want you to know that I love you and I care for you. And I wanted to ask, given that you've been feeling this way, have you had any thoughts of suicide? I would highly recommend practicing that conversation and be prepared to what the answer might be as well. Okay, just don't freak out if they do confess that they have been feeling like they want to take their own life, but we will get to that very soon. So what not to say? You do not want to let them know that you're going to keep it a secret, because if they have had thoughts of suicide, then you will absolutely need to tell people. You don't want to turn around and say, you got a great life. I don't understand why you're feeling like this. Or you'll be right. Or I just sort yourself out and get on with it. And you don't want to tell them that you understand, because when somebody's going through, is in such a dark place, they really don't feel as though anybody will ever understand them. And that's a lot of the reason why they're there as well, because they've been in the red for a lot longer. So what do you say? It's always good to let them know that, it's fairly common to feel like this. You've had exams, your mates have obviously really upset you. You don't need to do this alone. You have the right to feel happiness and joy every day of your life, okay? You can also ask, if they have felt like this before, did anything work in the past that I can help you with today? And just let them know that you're here for them and you will be willing to give them any support that they need. So what's next? If they say yes, that they have had suicidal thoughts, then it's recommended that you ask them how long they've felt like this for and if they have a plan. And the conversation can unfold like this. Oh, thanks so much for being so honest with me. How long have you been feeling like this for? Oh, about 2 months, ever since my mates bailed on me. I can see that your friends were an important part of your life, and it must really hurt to be rejected by them. Yeah, whatever, it's done now. Yes, but this is something that we can explore further. I wanted to ask you though, do you have a plan on how to take your own life? So their answer will determine what you do next. And if they say yes, this is now considered a mental health crisis, and you would need to stay with them until you seek professional help. So it's really good to put our Queensland mental health emergency lines in your phone, 1300 642 255. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service, and they will be able to advise you on what to do there and then. So if they say no, it is not considered a mental health crisis. However, you are encouraged to reach out and tell them that they can recover from this, from these strong feelings. And you can, that you're willing to help them, and ask them if they'd like you to make a telephone call to their GP, and you can go with them. So it isn't an easy conversation to have, especially if it's with your child. And sometimes you may not be the person to have that conversation with them. So if there's a mentor or somebody who you feel would be a better fit, then I'd highly recommend having a chat with them and getting them to have the conversation with them. It's certainly a conversation that needs to occur if you suspect that they are experiencing mental health problems. So that wraps up youth mental health. And please email me on ellen@yourmindreset.com if you have any questions. So our next topic is conscious parenting. And this is an approach that saved my child. So what is conscious parenting? It's becoming a new parent, somebody who walks beside your child or behind them, but you no longer lead them. It's about choosing to leave our ego at the door and not bringing that into the situation. Because the more that we drive them to meet our expectations of them, the more they'll drive away. We need to choose connection over correction. So you don't want to be turning around and saying, I told you so. Or, if you do that, then this is going to happen. All right? You're not going to have any skins for Monday if you use these now, if you wear these now. Okay? You've just got to let go and let them make their own mistakes. You need to understand that they are social beings and they may become addicted to Snapchat, and that is another chapter. I just remember, share a story that when I was a teenager, I lived on my landline at home. And if I wasn't talking to my friends on the phone, I was with them. So friends, definitely that social outlet. And these days is Snapchat, generally, Instagram, Facebook, any social media platform. The other thing is, it's really important to understand that when your teen displays attitude, self-righteousness, and entitlement, that this is a natural uprising from years and years of us controlling them and managing them. But of course, we needed to do that, okay, to guide them and keep them safe. But you can't fight nature, all right? They're going to do it anyway. We need to realize that there are so many gray areas and not just black and white. We need to transform from their manager to their consultant. So how do we do this? We do this through connection, setting boundaries, and building skills. So that is the formula. It is extremely effective. Probably the most important is the connection. Look at these opportunities to connect. Is it easy? Sorry, I just skipped a slide. Is conscious parenting easy? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? It certainly is. It is something, as I said, that changed our lives at home. Our family unit is a lot stronger from it. So this is where I introduced my Teen Connection Bootcamp, where you just need to share 90 minutes of your time with me with a one-on-one consult where we hatch a parenting plan to bring your teen back on side, essentially. We will cover screen addiction. We'll discover how to move from being a manager to a consultant. You'll learn about adolescent emotional development, what emotion dismissive parenting how it can impact a child. We'll also discuss how to respond to and sit with your teen's sadness. I'll teach you skills on developing empathy and teach you skills on how to coach your teen to manage their fears. You'll have a more comprehensive understanding of your own anxieties and triggers, anger, and also your teens. You'll learn the skills to manage rejection within yourself and your teen and manage conflict. And probably one of the most important factors in life is you will learn a lot more about how essential emotional self-care is. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me on ellen@yourmindreset.com. Thank you.